something, pick a different route. If you're gonna make that change, there's no better time than now. Be boundless. First I gotta get up off this futon, get my bags packed tight, put my shoes on.
Hey guys, good to see you all today. I got this great question from one of my viewers. It's from Steve. He says, "Hey Ryan, I'm wondering if your perspective on Japan has changed at all now that you've been living in a new country. Perhaps there are certain things you appreciate more now, or it's possible that living in Thailand has validated some of the negatives even more." I didn't notice this so much when I lived in Japan because I was so used to living there, but I really noticed it when I came to Thailand. And that's when I first came to Thailand, I was in Bangkok, and I noticed every time I'd go out, people would smile and they'd be very warm and open, and that was so refreshing because in Japan people were very cold, robotic, and distant. I didn't get that warm feeling from Japanese people in general. This is like when I'm going out in the city. Has my perspective on Japan changed since I came to Thailand? In terms of Japanese people being racist and condescending and making foreigners feel very isolated, and I'm talking about foreigners who have been there a long time, over 8 years. Because I think foreigners who have been in Japan less than 8 years don't really understand this. But when you can speak the language and you've assimilated as much as you possibly can, you really do feel that that separation that Japanese make between themselves and foreigners. So in terms of my perspective on that, I still feel the same way. Actually, when I think back about my life in Japan, and I haven't even told you guys a fraction of the bad things I experienced from the way that Japanese people treated me. When I think back to those memories, I still feel like Japanese people were very steeped in this us and them frame of mind. Now, I can't really talk about Thailand too much because I've only been here for 4 or 5 months, but I am getting the sense that Thai people also have this us and them mentality, and there is a limit to how much you can assimilate here. If you compare Japan and Thailand on a base level, just going outside and interacting with the local population, by far you're going to feel more acceptance and warmth among the Thai people. When you get deeper into it, like the expats who have lived in Japan for over 10 years and the expats who have lived in Thailand for over 10 years, I think you're going to start seeing similarities in terms of how the Thai people or the Japanese people have this mental wall between themselves and foreigners. That being said though, from my experience, you can live in Japan for 20 years and speak fluent Japanese, and you're still going to get treated like, oh my god, it's amazing you can speak Japanese. It's amazing you can even greet me in Japanese. And you'll still get this, you'll still meet people who just like, their mind cannot comprehend that you're speaking Japanese to them, and they just act awkward, or they close up emotionally, or they just act really strange. And that's something that you're never going to escape in Japan, I believe. Whereas here in Thailand, I see a lot of potential for somebody who can speak the language. Talking to Thai people in Thai and not getting that, oh my god, you can speak Thai, and just like shutting down mentally. Yeah, because in Japan I would be speaking Japanese to people quite comfortably and confidently, and they would just mentally shut down. The way I see it now is that there are a lot of Thai people who would be quite comfortable speaking Thai with a foreigner. You could kind of compare it to being an American and speaking to somebody who maybe came to America later in life and they don't speak English as a first language. Most Americans don't have a mental breakdown if they meet somebody who doesn't speak English as a first language. I guess if I had to say some things I miss about Japan, and this is not so much that it's a positive about Japan more than it's a negative about Thailand, is the way that people drive. People just drive insane here. I've seen people drive so dangerously, and it seems like they don't care about themselves, their own safety, but even more so, they don't care about the safety of the people around them. They seem to have no concern for other people's safety, which really grates me. Another little thing that I guess I miss about Japan, or it's more so just a negative about Thailand, is, for example, when I would buy something in Japan, the cashier would give me my change, give me my receipt, and they would say thank you, and they would bow, and it was just a nice way to end the transaction. Whereas here, it's like, they don't even say thank you, they don't even look at you, they don't show any appreciation that you're a customer. It's just like they toss you your freaking receipt and your money, and there's like, it doesn't make you feel appreciated as a customer, basically. What I really miss is meeting people in Japan who had never met or talked to a foreigner before, and because of that, they were so innocent. They were innocent and pure in a way, and I miss that innocence and that purity. That may be, one of the actual causes of their ignorance and their racism towards foreigners, but at the same time, I do miss that pureness. I don't find that a lot here in Thailand. A lot of Thai people I meet, most of the Thai people I've met, have had exposure to foreigners, so it's nothing unique or new to them. And it was always nice to share that experience, to be the foreigner that I was the first foreigner they had ever talked to before, interacted with. And what was really nice was interacting with them in their language, in Japanese. I can't do that here in Thailand because I can't speak Thai yet. Maybe if I were able to speak Thai, I would have more opportunities to meet those people who have never had direct interaction with foreigners before. For me, getting away from Japan has just been a real eye-opener, and it's changed my whole outlook on life, and it's just made me feel a lot better about myself as a person. You have to remember, I went to Japan when I was 24. I'm 41 years old now. So I pretty much lived in Japan all of my adult life. Yeah, living in Japan for so long like that and being treated the way the Japanese people treated me, it really fucked with my sense, or the way I saw myself and my own self-value. Because I knew something wasn't right, and I knew that wasn't normal. But the sick thing is that it was becoming normal, and that's what bothered me, and that's why I had to get out. So to wrap things up, I don't hate Japan. I actually think it's a beautiful country, a wonderful place to visit, and that's it. It's just not the place to make a life. It's not the place to stay for a long time. I was so wrapped up in my life there. That felt more like home to me than America did. I had more connections in Japan and more intimate relationships in Japan than I had in America. And I was so steeped in it in terms of, my survival depended on me living there and working there. And that's what made it tough, is because my survival depended on Japan. So yeah, having that experience, I never want to be in a position like that again, where my survival and my welfare and my financial situation depends on Japan only. But in terms of going back to Japan and visiting for a few months, or staying there for example, 6 months out of the year, I would be totally open to that. As long as I knew I didn't have to stay there, and my financial welfare and my mental welfare and my spiritual welfare didn't depend on Japan, I could live there easily. It's a beautiful place. I would like to travel around and see different parts of Japan. Guys, thanks for taking time out of your day to watch my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Better do something, pick a different route. If you're gonna make that change, there's no better time than now. Be boundless. Take a step outside, stretch my arms out wide, like I'm on the Titanic.